get that autofocus out of there. I don't know why it doesn't stay the way I made it. Let's get that autofocus out of there. I don't know why it doesn't stay the way I made it. Hey there guys, I'm NibletK. Welcome to the stream. We're gonna continue with Thronebreaker today. Other than that, nothing to say. Let's just have some fun, okay? Yeah! Hiya! Thronebreaker, come on, play. Also, the light is pretty much in my eyeballs, my eye sockets. I guess I'll just leave it like that. Could move it back a little bit. Would that help? Also, what are you doing, cat? One more thing I didn't do. I didn't bring any juice.
Hey, come on.
You guys listen to the story a little bit.
Poor sod can't eat proper.
Dunno, not sure I like that. What if he runs for it? He's worth a heap of coin.
Ah, bollocks. Been all in him a week, hasn't tried a thing. Why he up and bolt now? Matter of fact, got to thinking. What did a sweet, gentle chap like him do to get the Queen of Zerrikania so riled?
She's a shrew, that's what. Queen and witch in one. Worst of both worlds.
There we go.
About her. What do you say to one more of your tales?
Enough tiles. Okay, let's continue. So we started to feast on our, good deeds that we've done, but apparently not so great. And we've been summoned to go to the castle, basically, and to Bruverhug himself. Because we need to make amends for the mess we made or something like that. That said, let's see, what is this?
Gazing towards the horizon, Neve noticed a dark shape outlined against the mantle of snow that lay on the ground. It proved a tower, toppled and broken in pieces. Around it lay the ruins of other buildings, blocks hewn out of basalt rock protruding from the permafrost.
That'd be the Clan Vidmar ruins,
said Gabor, hollering over the wind.
rich ones. Had their clan seat here till earth tremors turned all into dust. Hundreds of dwarves lived here once, and now, not a living soul. Ah! Help! Save me!
On the contrary, there was someone midst the ruins, and said someone was clearly in trouble. Neve ordered her men to find the unfortunate soul. They returned moments later, leading a dwarf whose teeth chattered. They had found him in a ruined building where he'd sought shelter from ghouls. Judging by his appearance, the dwarf had spent the better part of a week there.
Interesting.
Marco Vidmar, they call me.
He said, patting down unkempt hair that seemed to reach in all directions.
I came here seeking a family heirloom, lost in the tremors and the chaos they caused. I ken the chamber where it ought to be, but, well, beasts made their lair there. I cannot drive them off on my own, but bold warriors like you ought to cut them down in a jiffy. So, will you help?
In a jiffy, of course.
I too have lost my home, estate.
Said the queen.
I don't care
so I
what you
well
did.
what you feel.
I just want to kill
I shall help you
monsters
recover
and
your
fight.
heirloom. Call it a win.
Mirko
Fighting
Vidmar's
is
face
cool,
lit
right?
up. Though he'd spent a week besieged and eating stale biscuits, and though there was a hoarfrost in his beard, he quickly trotted to the front of the column and led the Lyrian soldiers to the underground chamber. As promised, beasts awaited there.
Baba, the battle. Ah, okay, shortened battle. Succulent pork knuckle. Ooh. Sounds delicious. Really curious to see what's gonna happen, you know. Also, I am curious of one thing. How far along can I stretch this? Maybe just a little bit more. Not really that much. How does that sound? Yeah, a little bold. I got my microphone over here so you guys can see it. You guys can see it a little bit. Does that look bad? Hello, little microphone. Probably not. Okay, fire starter, Rayla. Okay, we got Gabor. Okay, that's a good one to have. I don't think I need Gabor. Spike Pitfall, I'll keep. We usually tend to give these back. Oh, that's a nice one. I want one of those guys that moves things around. There we go. Yeah. Whenever
The ruins!
a unit
there
is
they
played,
come.
it may be
Drive them back.
seized by this card. When a seized unit takes damage, move it back to its original position. What is that? Wait.
Huh?
Okay.
This could hurt.
It may be seized.
Got a death wish? Quiet, or the commissar will hear.
Seriously? There we go. Let me place this down. You can't take the trinkets. Let us put this there. Because we're gonna push everything there, it takes damage, everything that moves out takes damage. I don't want to put this thing here.
I live to serve you.
Ah, shit. It had the armor, so it didn't take damage. It might take damage now. Still didn't take damage. You traitorous cum shit. Don't really want to do fort to it.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
Well, it's back on my side. Yeah, it's getting healed a little bit. Oh, whoa.
I'll fight to my last breath.
kinda needed Black Rayla.
God save the Queen! To the last!
I should have played it up so that this thing can travel. I keep forgetting about that guy. We're in good shape.
Favorite cut of lamb? Shank. Should've listened to the old lady.
Yes! Killed everything.
Let's get a move on before any others show up.
As soon as
Excuse
the
me.
fight was done, Mirko Vidmar ran towards a crate that stood on a pedestal, slipping on the now bloody floor. When the dwarf lifted the lid, precious stones spilled out.
Your heirloom? This?
Asked the queen, rather puzzled.
I thought a pipe that belonged to your grandfather more likely.
Ooh.
Seems to me Brother Mirko wasn't wholly candid with us. This here's no heirloom, no family souvenir. It's the treasure trove of Clan Vidmar. We thought it gone for good.
Pressed for the truth, Mirko admitted no family sentiment had prompted this expedition. The dwarf had planned to leave Mahakam and start a new life among humans. Yet he did not wish to do so without sizable capital.
I can't stand to stay here a moment longer. The days, all of them, they're identical. Rise with the first cockscrow, march in double file to the latrine, crap on command, 12 hours down the shaft and home to sleep.
Mirko complained.
Want a wifey? Put in an application in triplicate. Care to snip your beard? Elders got to approve it. You want to add buttermilk, not cream, to your mushroom soup? Clan council's got to debate it. How's a dwarf not to get balmy?
I understand the lad, no two ways about it.
Gabor sighed.
But I feel it's my duty to remind yous that what Mirko's going and doing here, well, there are laws. Treasure's due the Elder-in-Chief, not to Mirko. That's one. Second, any dwarf that wants to leave Mahakam can't take nothing but his breeches, his dixie, and his coat. So, brief like, consider well afore you make your decision, Your Grace.
I sympathise, Mirko,
Said Meve.
but I'm a crowned head. I must decline. National interest requires I show the greatest possible care for my relations with Elder-in-Chief Hoog. Yet in aiding you, I could sour those greatly. I shall return the treasure to him. I must. While you do what you will.
Mirko Vidmar swore under his breath, then jostled his way through the Lyrian infantry and into the mountains, towards human lands.
Godspeed, dear sir. Well, I am very curious what that Golden Froth card does. I think it buffs up my units even more, right? Where art thou? Where art thou, card? Mark a unit and boost it by 10 after 3 turns. On turn start, destroy that unit and self. What? Boost all allies on a roll by 4. Oh, so it's not ongoing. Look at 5 cards from your deck and play 2, then discard the rest. That's an interesting card to have. I haven't played Reynardo in forever. No, do I plan to anyway? Can we build anything? Oh. I feel like this is kind of good. I don't want this. There goes all of my wood, pretty much. You can buy this, it's cheap, sure. Also said I wouldn't do that, but I'm up to a point where everything seems pretty fine. And I just want to move faster on the map. Start picking up the pace, okay? Okay. Yeah. Up in the mountains we go. What is it I spy over there?
The Lyrians rode a narrow, winding path along the rocky ridge. To one side were ice-covered boulders, to the other, a chasm hundreds of feet deep.
They could have at least erected some barriers,
Complained Gascon, knocking snow from his cap.
Got plans for that.
Gabor said,
Just need to decide how high to make 'em.
What?
Think. Should they be the height of your average dwarf or a human? The debate's gone on for 20 years. On the one hand, you've got...
Gabor did not finish his discussion. He was interrupted by the Baba Ghazi that jumped down from the rocks.
Archers! Shoot! Aim for underbelly!
Neve soldiers made quick work of the lone monster. But the sound of battle spooked the horses harnessed to one of her wagons.
Whoa there! Whoa! Damn it!
Oh,
The
crap.
driver tried to rein in the animals, but could not. They dragged him into the chasm along with his cart and the soldiers riding in it. They landed a few dozen feet below on a rocky outcropping. A moment later, Baba Ghazis swarmed everywhere.
Did you see how they fared? Anyone left alive?
Asked me, leaning over the cliff edge.
Worry more about their cargo.
Gascon replied.
They were also carrying chests of gold.
Blast. We can't get down there. Too steep and the snow keeps falling.
We can lower ourselves down a line. But without armor, shields, or heavy weapons, otherwise it will snap.
And the Baba Ghazis?
The Queen said, brow raised.
We shan't kill them with daggers. They're too thick of armor.
We'll have to try. Or continue on our way.
You only
Yeah.
live once.
Neve sighed.
Gascon, round up some volunteers and let us move out.
Moments later,
Let's do
the
this.
Queen was lowering herself down a line straight towards the gaping maw of a Baba Ghazi. Her only armor, a woolen shirt.
Yes, let's do this. Eliminate Baba Ghazi. Well, if I have my deck at the disposal, it should be no problem. Said I. Oh yes. I'm gonna keep that. Might come in handy. Oh, looks good. Oh yeah. Okay.
Careful! No one try to be a hero!
I could swear that didn't look like that. can't understand that.
Sod it all.
There is a unit on the right, gain 1 charge, otherwise remove 1 charge. If this unit charge count reaches 5, me wins the battle. If it reaches 0, oh shit.
I live to serve you.
But stand aside, Your
Oh, that's a
Majesty!
good one. Okay, first things first. Let us get another fire starter on the right. Has to
This
come
could hurt.
here. Then we do
I'll relieve you of that bout.
I have to kill those, right? Oh, that wasn't that hard. I just had to kill those things.
Bereft of sword and shield, Meve could not withstand a single blow. She thus danced atop the frozen snow, deftly dodging the Barbegazi's lightning-fast strikes, while delivering but a few well-aimed hits of her own, to their eyes,
Well-aimed.
ears, and gaping jaws. When the last monster fell lifeless to the ground, Meve walked up to the shattered wagon. The soldiers it had carried were bruised, frostbitten, but alive.
Your Grace, we were sure you'd leave us.
A good ruler never abandons her folk.
Nor her gold.
Gascon interjected, while securing a rope to a chest. Soon enough, all were safely back on the path.
Yeah!
The admiration Meve saw in her soldiers' eyes was in itself sufficient reward for her difficult battle.
Yeah! We did something good! Where are we going now? I feel like I'm going to the last things. Okay. So we got this area to explore and then this mountain top. And then we're done with the I mean here. And then we're done with another chapter. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. Let's go up here first. Pillage this village. That rhymes. Okay. Puzzle. Let's do the puzzle. Destroy the Stoneheart's resident hero Garth Rockstew. Okay, Rockstew. Units whose armor reduced to 0 are destroyed. Every turn, draw a card. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Oh. Oh, this one's tough. Draw a pirate from your deck. Order, either damage the enemy hero by Pirate Field Marshal's power or force Pirate Field Marshal and an enemy to damage each other once by their power. This unit takes damage and survives. What the fuck do I do with mana? Two blast balls. Why can't I play anything? Can I only play the parrot? That's awkward.
Me! Ackers!
Okay.
Oh, we've got a bad case of rollers back.
Let's see how this one works out. Okay. Either damage the enemy hero or force roaches the pirate and the enemy damage each other once by their own power. Interesting. Holy shit. So let's see, if I do what the fuck? Set the unit's armor to 1.
Your wish, my duty.
Oh boy. Holy shit. I might actually die. Oh, interesting. Voila! Et voila! Ooh, Blizzard. Entertainment?
Welcome to me inn. We've many folk today, but there's always room enough for more. Good to see you again. Welcome to me inn.
I got a lot of stuff here. Also, say hello to my golden chest. Hey, it's Gabor. There's the CD Projekt Red Bird. Take 5, guys. Ah yes, the daily waifu checkup on. Hey honey, how you doing? What you doing? Did you see the note I left you with all the chores you have to do? Sure, now go do them. Nah, I'm streaming now. Later. Later.
Fresh snow today. Got a blow before.
This is the way I have to go, right? Yes. Okay. I see a monster here. So, oh, fight, point of interest. Ooh, okay. Hello, battle. Eliminate both the reckless and the shrewd vampires. Do not let any more of your soldiers get seized. Use your leader's ability. Custom deck. How wood. Boost an ally by 4 and give it 1 armor, then trigger all allies' loyal abilities. Give 1 charge to card on the right. Return Every 2 turns on turn start. Wait. Every 2 turns on turn start sees the lowest unit on the opposite row. Every 2 turns on turn start sees the highest unit on the opposite row and move it to your hand, blah blah blah. So if I do this. Boost an ally by 4 and give it 1 island. And trigger all allies loyal abilities. Seize the highest unit on the opposite row and move it to your allied ranged row in the rightmost position. If there are already 4 units there, move the leftmost allied unit to the opponent's side. Literally, I just had to pass. Oh. Do not enter the mine until stench has cleared. Okay, well, that was an interesting puzzle, but it was more to confuse you of other things. Hello. What kind of puzzle are you? Standard battle. Oh. Okay, I can deal with that. Let us begin. Let's see. Ooh, Rayla's good. We got that guy. Okay, we got that guy. There's a fire starter. Oh. I'm having pretty good things. A little bit of each. So let's set this up. First things first. We place this thing over here. I realize this. Maybe
for the queen!
Something.
Favorite cut of lamb? The shank.
That random bullshit is so annoying. Okay. Next we need to place our spikes. Okay, now we set things on fire. He's still in the lead. So those have resilience. I need to
Looking to dance, mate?
hit those really hard. Just gonna get those. Just fine. What don't I need? Okay, I can. I can just go all in. So let's put this down. Next. Let's put this.
God save the Queen!
Let's kill those. Nothing should. Okay, I don't have another copy of it. Let's see. Oh, let's play then Black Raylo here. That's good. Now we can play this thing over here. Next we get a fire thing over here.
This could hurt.
Let's start cooking everything again. Yeah, let's start cooking. Okay. Oh. That kind of hurt a little. That's okay. Put this here. We're going to do this. This thing's gonna kill a bunch of Harkins. Ouchie. Still not that. We need to play this one first in order to get the trigger off of it. Boar.
You sure about that?
I'm liking my deck.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
We almost killed everything we had. Okay.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Still a lot of damage. I mean, he has one more turn. I don't think he can go up to 100 almost with one card. Clap for me. Ooh, yeah, we're getting a lot of stuff. Yeah, give me the goods. What's with the pet over here? Oh. Oh, nice. Okay. Hello, lads.
Neve now witnessed a sorry sight. A mass funeral for miners killed due to a tragic convergence of events.
Oh.
Their lead caskets lay upon the snow,
Burial ground.
wreaths of hop cones laid upon them in turn. The mourners waited for the diggers to finish. The digging was tough, for the ground was frozen. As the crunch and thud of picks and shovels continued, the dead miner's foreman scrambled onto a boulder to make a speech. Angry shouts and loud booing stopped him.
You knew it! You knew they'd smelled vapors, but you ordered them to keep digging till it blew up in their faces!
Make the daily quota whatever the cost, eh?
You've blood on your nuts, whoreson!
A mourner then picked up a chunk of frozen ground and threw it at the foreman. Blood spurted from the gash that appeared on his forehead. The first dirt chunk was followed by another, then by a rock, a brick. Neve realized that if she did not intervene, the foreman stood to be stoned to death. Something had to be done quickly. Neve saw this clearly. She spurred her mount and rode into the cemetery, pushing through the throng, then stopping before the foreman, the horse shielding him from further blows.
Calm yourselves! Silence! His guilt cannot be decided here. It must!
Before Neve could finish her plea, a large rock thrown from the crowd struck her bosom, nearly knocking her from her saddle. Upon seeing this, her Lyrian escort lowered spears and drew swords and rushed at the angry mourners.
Okay. Oh, come on! I don't want to fight against them. Very well.
Back off! No one needs to die! Cursed traitors.
You mad? Don't shake that!
Want a whip of my axe?
This could hurt.
Shite! This sign of stopping.
Shit. My little... That thing ain't good.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Stop hitting that guy.
I live to serve you.
Devil hollow! Did he interfere? Taint your business!
God save the Queen!
That doesn't work well for me.
To the last!
Aye.
Scoia'tael! Attack!
Got a death wish?
Still has
They used to tire my tongue about that.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
I'm managing all I can.
Now we must stick together.
My favourite cut of lamb? The shank.
Still alive. That was risky a little bit. Luckily I didn't hit him. Only takes one, right?
If anyone's got any hooch left.
It's not as much as I would like to, but damage a unit by 15 if it was destroyed, the other remaining damage to another unit. Ugh. Might actually kill everything
Never
on the
had your
board.
kneecaps broken!
can just pass and I win.
I'm afraid that's everyone, Your Grace.
The Queen managed to save the four-dwarf from being lynched, at a price. Many Lyrians emerged from the rumble heavily wounded. Losses among the mourners were much greater. The gravediggers dug the new graves with ease, as the previously frozen ground, warmed by the spilt blood, gave in easily to their shovels. When it was over, seeing what had happened, the four-dwarf fell to his knees and hid his face in his hands.
They had it right. Those miners died because of me. Because of my cock-up. And now, they're kin.
Though the dwarven elders thanked Meve for stepping in and preventing the four dwarves' lawless lynching, the Queen left the cemetery with a bitter taste in her mouth.
Yeah, that was awkward. That was definitely awkward. I don't want to kill all of them. The story is really messed up sometimes.
The Lyrians ascended the highest section of the Mahakam Range. Snow crunched under their boots, cold air stung their lungs, and the wind snapped at their cloaks. Meve wiped sweat from her brow and turned to Raynor.
There! By the rocks! We shall...
Oh, is this the ambush?
The rest of her words were drowned out by a powerful blast. The entire mountain rumbled with a low, vibrating roar. The sound grew louder, echoing off the rocks, splitting their ears. The Lyrians looked around, disoriented. Few heard Gabor's warning.
Dinna just stand there! Get behind a rock! Quick! Hurry!
Meve followed the dwarf's gaze and cried out in terror. The snow stuck to the mountainside had started to slide down the slope, sending up mists of icy dust. Before she could react, the white torrent knocked her to her knees, crushing her and smothering her into the ground. All she felt after that was all-encompassing cold and fear. Meve survived. The dwarves who ran to the Lyrians' rescue dug her out of the snow in time. Some of her soldiers were not so lucky. The Queen looked at their bodies, blue, frozen. Next to them lay dead horses, demolished wagons. The losses were enormous. Meve wiped her cheek. Her tears burned her frozen skin.
What the hell is going on?
Gabor spoke a while with the leader of the Mahakam Guard Patrol that had come to their rescue. His face was dour.
What? What have you learned?
I tell you all in good time. First, you need a warm drink, good victuals.
No, Gabor. I need to find out what in blazes happened here.
Well, it was an avalanche.
Of course it was an avalanche. I'm no fool. But what caused it? What was that noise?
Signal horns. Ours.
So you brought this snow down on us? Dwarves!
Well, aye, but, unawares.
Wait, huh?
Explain, in brief.
See, we clean our mount regularly. The way men folk shovel snow off their roofs. Otherwise, the whole shebang would come tumbling down on our heads. When snow's gathered deep enough, we blast our horns to cause a controlled avalanche. Then we need to, but sweep up a wee bit and the road's safe.
All well and good, but why did you decide to clean up right as I was passing through?
Yeah, good question.
Wondering that myself. Schedule says next cleaning should have been a week from now, but someone asked the route to be cleared earlier.
Who?
Maeve, I'll tell you. But first, promise you'll...
Who?
Hey. Owain ep Glenvok, the Nilfgaardian emissary.
What?
Must have found out you'd be going through.
The bastard. Reynard! Reynard!
Wait! Wait! I understand you're a wee bit upset, you've every right. But you'll never prove Owain meant you harm. The sly weasel will make sure he didn't dirty his own paws.
I've no such scruples. I'll find him and kill him.
And then? How'd you tell that tale to Bruva? Maeve, you're justly taught, but for the love, just this once, let it go. Or you'll leave Mahakam with me a scrap to show for it.
Moments later, scouts reported Owain was camped to the north of the accident site. Maeve had to decide how much she was willing to risk to get her revenge on the Imperial emissary.
Interesting.
By the Elder's sideburns, I'd no notion anyone was in the Vale. Nilfgaardian said the road was clear. The Horsons. What a mess. I'm so sorry. With all my heart. What a mess.
With all my I have to leave him alone.
While passing the mining settlement of Kolstok, Maeve heard the sounds of battle.
Hey-ho! Into the fray, lads!
Expecting she would see monsters swarming dwarves, the Queen set off at a gallop to the rescue. Her braid blew about in the wind like a banner, showing her men in which direction to attack. The dwarves she saw, however, were not engaged in a battle against Shaelmars and Barbagazes. No, they were going at one another.
What?
Luckily, no weapons had yet been drawn, but given the dwarves have hands the size of bread loaves, this did not necessarily mean there would be no deaths.
Oi, lads!
Roared Gabor Zigrin.
What's this foolishness? Calm the hell down, damn it!
Gabor's intervention proved successful. The dwarves limited themselves to verbal jousting. Maeve, who was no stranger to barrack room talk, nonetheless turned crimson at the dwarves' cursing. Piecing together the obscenities, Maeve concluded they were debating an old quarrel about the height of a certain mountain, or rather of the twin peaks atop it. One of them lay in the territory of Clan Dahlberg, while the other in the Hoogs land. Each family felt their peak was the highest, all measurements indicating the contrary being total fabrications.
Queen?
Started Gabor, nervously chewing his moustache.
They're asking if you, as yin impartial and a fair-minded wench to boot, wouldn't wish to settle their Egypt squabble once and for all.
Maeve knew well that this type of age-old quarrel could easily end in bloodshed, so she resolved to help. Representatives of the two clans gave her a strange mechanism she was to use to measure elevation. All that was left was for the Queen to button her coat up to the neck and scale the twin peaks.
Seriously.
Time to end this cricket feud once and for all. Time to end this. Time to end this.
So, is this where I have to go? But first, there's something I need to dig up here. Yes. Yes, Isabel.
When she and her force had traveled half the way to the first, she heard a long roar that made snow shells detach and descend. Without waiting for her scouts to return with reports, Meve drew her sword.
Ice troll. Or I think it's an ice troll. Ah, crap. You and your stupidities. My drawing's good. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Don't like this. March on, march on.
I hope I don't get snowed again.
Eyes up, lads! They're flying straight for us!
Okay. Start by setting them on fire.
For the Queen!
I'm gonna put everything a little bit around everywhere. This thing down and hope for the best. Down there. Okay.
This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! You crazy bear.
I smell a leak.
Oh, man.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
I think I could have killed that due to the damage, but I can do this again.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
We are winning!
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
done in a jiffy.
There we go.
Take those measurements and let's be gone from this place.
Easy peasy.
The Lyrians managed to repel the monsters and reach both peaks. Upon each, Meve ordered her men to take the measurements. While waiting, she admired the breathtaking view of the Mahakaman Massif. The dwarven contraption left no room for doubt. The peak within the Dahlberg clan territory was 2 feet higher than that within Hoog territory.
Okay,
Gabor was clearly displeased with the results.
Damn it all! I'd hoped you'd prove Brewer's clan was in the right. He'd have been content to see the Dahlbergs knocked down a peg or two, and, possibly, he'd have been more inclined to help you,
said the dwarf in frustration. Then, after a pause, he added,
Although, only you saw what the device showed, Queen. Perhaps you could, recalibrate the results a wee bit?
No.
To lie would be simple, true.
said Meve.
Yet to forget the matter would be so much harder. No, Gabor, I shall tell the truth.
The Queen's tone made it clear the discussion was over. Gabor let the matter lie, and Meve's force began its descent down the mountainside.
How are we doing on those golden things? Spawn and play 2 random trinkets. That's not too bad. Let you cycle faster. Hey, I wanted my mess tent. Oh, we got them all. 8 out of 8. So bad to see that I actually missed one bullshit.
The dwarves of both clans had been waiting with bated breath for the expedition's return and report. As soon as Meve announced the results, the Dahlbergs rolled barrels of beer out into the square and began to celebrate. Naturally, the Hoogs were disappointed, yet they accepted Meve's results as final. At last, they had come to trust her.
Okay.
Dalbergs are the dwarfs we need. Every hoogs are done their heed. Dalbergs are...
Shut up, bearded lady.
For frostbite, you'd best avail yourself of some onion juice. Even better if you had a wee nip of vodka. Oh, snorters are frozen solid. Not just those in my beard. Like up my nose too. Once underneath Carmen, I'll find a way to the tavern. Set our arses down by the fire. And sit amongst them. Oh, snot!
As Meve neared Langbridge, she ordered her bugler to announce her arrival, then retired to her tent to freshen up. Gascon was already inside, awaiting her.
I do not seem to recall summoning you.
Hey, Gascon.
In that case, I must tell you to fret not. Nothing wrong with your memory. I've come with no agenda. Spontaneously, call it, to chat.
Then I propose you leave. Just as spontaneously, call it. I must don fresh clothes. I'm to see the Elder soon, and I'd prefer to not smell of horse sweat.
Doubt it'd make much difference to him. And be assured, I know what I speak of. When last we met, I found myself standing downwind of him. a pungent experience.
Well, you were saved the experience of his breath. So pungent I thought I might faint.
Well, to revive you, pinch you awake, I'm sure would be quite a pleasure.
Gascon, I beg your pardon. Ugh, I shall have nightmares now.
Not tonight, for I fear you might not sleep at all. You see, there's something you ought to know, and decidedly before you meet with Bruver.
Okay.
The sites we cleared of beasts, I ferreted a bit. Noted something peculiar. Any notion what it was?
None. The monumental dwarven architecture, perhaps?
Bones, my dear Meve. Dwarven bones. Now, guess what I found on them?
Wait, don't dare give me any hints. Bite marks.
Of course. After all, they'd been gnawed clean of all flesh by monsters, incidentally making it quite easy to spot other markings. Ones made by axes and swords. To be certain, I showed the bones to our medics, and they confirmed my conclusion.
Meaning what?
What is that?
That the entire clan, the Fuchses,
did not perish due to an invasion of beasts from the depths. The monsters merely ate the bodies and occupied empty homes. Now, I shared my discovery with Gabor, and guess what he did? He panicked. He started to squirm, babble nonsense. I wager my right arm he's hiding something.
blast. Overly eager to aid us from the start he was. I might have sensed something. I shall have him summoned at once. And I thank you, Gascon. I won't forget this.
Minutes later, Gabor stood before the Queen. At first, he tried to mislead her with evasive answers, but as her pointed questions demolished one clumsy excuse after another, he had to give in.
Oh, Gabor.
As King Desmond said after a hefty squirt in his hose, we can't sweep this under the rug.
If you think I welcome jests in this moment, you err. My fingers itch to summon the hangman.
Right. So... 'tis true. I misled you. On our clan elder's orders...
Wait, what?
Supposed to make sure you destroyed Burr's Rump and Davor's Abyss thoroughly enough to leave nae a trace.
What? Why? What did they wish to hide?
They was home to the Fuchses, our mortal enemies. They'd been a-boiling our heinies for ages, thumbing their noses, taking what they want when they want, and the Elder-in-Chief didn't gie a ploughing whit. So to stop them, our clan, we did the unpardonable. The Ziggurin elders saw their chance and they...
Gods. So you were responsible for the deaths of all those dwarves?
Holy shit.
Me? I didn't raise a finger. Tried to stop them, in fact.
You claim not to have taken part, but neither did you do anything to stop the massacre.
What was it to do exactly? The elders had decided. Nae a dwarf would listen to me.
You might have informed the Elder-in-Chief. The guilty would have been punished.
The guilty? You didn't ken Bruver. He'd punish the whole clan. Women, children, nae exceptions. Maeve, Queen, I'm begging you. He canna ever learn of this. Aye, I want a hack flame too when I think what the Elder's done. But t'other way it'd bring but more pain and death.
Ah.
You've got a lot of nerve, making requests after lying to me.
Trying to ensure you ken the stakes. But you'll do as you see fit. Like always.
I need to consider what's right. Meanwhile, Gascon, make sure Gabor remains our guest.
Of course. I'll let you know if he so much as rolls his eyes towards an escape route.
Great. Well, fancy meeting you out here.
Bruver stood by the bridge like a statue, arms crossed, eyes squinting. Meve sighed inside. She stood little chance of having a pleasant chat.
Elder-in-Chief, sir.
No sirring and gracing here, lass. Plowing humans. Always out to fix things, always end up cocking them up. You think you're due glory, do you? Monster Slayer Meve? Patroness of dwarves? Blast it. What do you think? Why didn't I exterminate those beasts myself, eh? Go on, tell me!
For you.
For I didn't want to. For something didn't affect, damn it. So I resolved to not destroy their nests and evidence till I learned the truth of who done it.
Postponed it all those years expressly. Though your subjects were dying.
I didn't need no lectures from the likes of you. Justice must be served. That's worth any price. And I was close. Had leads. And now, it's all gone to hell. You flooded Devor's abyss. You brought Boros rump down on itself. And I'll never ken who killed the Fuchses. Understand? Never!
I would not be so sure.
Sure a bloody what?
That you shall never learn the truth. For I learnt it just moments ago. 'Twas the Zigrins who killed the Fuchses.
Oh, he doesn't like that.
The Zigrins? But, oh no. Aye, it would explain a lot, that. Ah, the snakes! Worms! Rogues! Why, I'll show 'em! Alright. Got to admit you've more in that pretty head of yours than I expected, but dinna you start thinking we'll be toasting a new friendship. If you want our aid, you'll have to answer our questions. My questions. Lots of them. And they're all hard, so dinna you go smiling at me yet.
Why, I wouldn't dare.
But you are.
Better not. Right. Time we moved on.
Bruver set off at a brisk pace, paying Meve nor anyone else heed. The Elder's bodyguards rushed after him, then came the Lyrian force, and at its end trudged Gabor Zigrin, hands and feet in shackles.
Bye, Gabor. Oh! Oh, whoa, 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 we still got a little bit. Oh, yeah! Also... we don't have Gabor anymore. So that's there. play 2 random trinkets. It's good enough, whatever. Didn't always have Gabor. Stomp, jump.
Wanted to hunt monsters, eh? Oh, Elder's furious. Spits flying 10 feet. Let humans neath carbon. Didn't ken if that's wise. Wanted to hunt monsters, eh?
Dwarves demonstrate innovative thinking in many domains. Metallurgy, engineering, architecture. Yet there is one in which they could not be bothered. Naming. For this reason, the bridge that linked the Mahakam Pass with Mount Carbon was simply named Langbridge. Niamh learned it was a thoroughly fitting name. Having stopped for a breath halfway across the road suspended over a deep chasm, the Queen could see neither end of the bridge, both concealed by thick clouds.
Amazing,
whispered the Queen.
I feel as though we traversed the very sky.
Nice.
The Queen and her retinue were nearing Mount Carbon when Niamh heard a cry. It was Xavier.
Hold! Hold!
Niamh drew in her reins abruptly. Her mare neighed and reared, lifting the Queen above her formation of men. From that height, she saw the last pier of the bridge crumbling. The dwarves at the head of the procession were unable to stop in time and plummeted, screaming into the abyss.
What's the meaning of this, goddammit?
Groover roared.
Fetch the engineers! Now!
The Queen was striving to calm her spooked mount when she sensed something swish past her ear. Out of nowhere, a Scoia'tael band had appeared at the rear of the column. Before anyone could react, elven archers had felled the rear guard. The soldiers lay on the bridge's stone surface with arrows in their backs. Niamh was trapped. In one direction lay the chasm, in the other, a fierce foe. She had no choice but to stand and fight.
Ah, you ambushers! Extra cards. Okay. Oh! Move a unit 1 row away from the opponent at each one. Okay.
At last, Renna! You are mine!
We trapped you, Grace, but we can try and fight our way through.
Really?
I smell a leak. You mad? Don't shake that!
Everything all right?
Bye. Oh yeah, she does that.
Show me the coin or sod off. I recognize the colours. They belong to Eldane.
Without hesitation.
You ballbags can do whatever the devils you please! This is Mahakam!
Nice.
Got business for me?
That's okay.
Me. Dwanvik Chemist.
Aye. Oh, this is fairly easy if I keep doing that.
Let us sing the song of steel!
Bye.
God save the Queen!
Blood and neck ends. Similian Vat.
Say hello to my power.
For the last!
Enough chit-chat. Draw your weapon.
Don't mind this.
Let's summon Pitfall.
Now we will see who is weak.
What you looking at?
Your tricks will not save you, Dwan.
Sorry, boy, but need to damage something by 10.
No! Let her in! She must die!
I will not.
Their strength combined, the Lyrians and dwarves managed to defeat the Scoia'tael. The guerrillas had weakened the last span of the bridge, turning the crossing into a deadly trap. Had Xavier, who noticed the weakened structure at the last instant, not called out, all would have fallen into the chasm. The Lyrians managed to capture the unit commander. She stood, her head raised high, and when Meve glared at her, she did not avert her eyes.
Crow's eye.
What is your name, elf?
Abayeth me a parst one.
What?
She said,
Thank you, Reynard. I know well what she said.
Kiss my arse.
Kiss my arse. Is that truly the best you can muster?
I'd rather show you exactly what I can muster. Tell them to unbind me.
You got your opportunity. On the battlefield. Will you not tell me what they call you? Fine. It's all the same to me. I'm more interested to know how you came to be here. Who sent you?
No one. It was my decision to kill you, and thus avenge Eldain. You've elven blood on your hands. The blood of the elves of the Moulderwood.
He deserved it.
I regret the events of the Moulderwood. I did not wish those elves' deaths. Yet they left me no choice.
What choice would you give a murderer who invaded your home?
You know I envy you. To see the world solely as black or white, it must simplify things so.
Yes, it does.
Enough. I've heard all I wish to hear.
But I haven't. Did you fall on your heed, elf, eh? If you want to fight humans, go on and do it. You cannot talk sense to idiots and nay here, damn it. Mahakam is and will be neutral.
You cannot be neutral. To Dwan, you are either their foe or their dog. Mahakam has stood aside sleeping long enough. That is why we struck it in its very heart. As a call to battle. A call to brethren whom you, Elder, have kept from the world too long.
I have kept him away. I've been bloody right to do so. You want to play at war, you numpties? You want to force the Pontar to flow upstream? Gang right ahead. Good riddance, I say. Gan kill, gan die if you fancy. But gods damn it, leave us alone. Yeah, I should kill you. With my own hands. I should cut your throat, put you out of your misery. That's what you want, innit? To die? To die a stupid death? Well, I'll not grant you that. Nay, nay, I'll lock you in a tower. Sit there 3 centuries, and you just might grow a brain.
Bruva Hoog gazed after the shackled elf as she was led away. Meve expected him to continue fuming, cursing her. But the dwarf stood silent, and his old eyes, half concealed by brows bushy as a forest floor, showed not anger, but the deepest sadness. Dwarven engineers made quick work of repairing the crumbled bridge span.
Hey. Cool.
Look, Mount Carbon.
Damn. When I thought Novigrad was big.
So the elves are against us. Against our elder. Treacherous hounds. Truth be told, I supported the Scoia Delafor. No, I wish every last one of them dead. Dead! Long-eared bastards. Raising our own saplings against us in rebellion. Sowing unrest. Violence! In the mountains! Long-eared
Wipe your feet. This is it. The end of the chapter, boys. We did it.
The Lyrians stepped inside Mount Carbon's bowels. Meve rode while looking upwards, admiring the intricately carved ceiling, gilded walls, monumental bas-reliefs carved from basalt. Yet this was no time to admire the sights. Bruva Hoog had summoned her to speak.
Interesting statues there, boys.
I thank you for your invitation, Elder.
That is.
My invitation? Choice term, lass. You wangled your way in here. Long I've lived, but ne'er have I seen a wench so stubborn.
With all due respect, do you not feel like a pot conversing with a kettle?
Ha! True enough. Changes of mind didn't come easy to me. but they do come at times. Human wars concern me not at all. For so many they are, who could count them? A year goes by without one wanking king invading another's realm. A dog with scabies is less restless. That's why this morning I aimed to send you off with nothing. Mattered not what the clans were saying. Rivia, Schmivia, who gives a sheep's fart? But that was this morn, before that daft wench and her pups attacked. Nilfgaard supports the Scoia'tael, it's common knowledge. Nilfgaard uses them. Well, I'm nae worse, and I choose to use Queen Meve.
So what use would you make of me, if I might ask? You've a plan?
Aye, the kind dwarves like best. Simple, but sneaky.
Really?
Like to give Nilfgaard a warning, you ken. If you're going to rile my dwarves, throw 'em into the Scoia'tael ranks, you'll regret it, aye? But I'd like to issue the warning without declaring war. All clear to you so far? So, when you march out of Mahakam, you'll find a company of our foot dwarves waiting out with the gate. Officially, volunteers enlisting with you against my will. And you're to put them at the fore next time you face Nilfgaard. Want the Blackclads to break their teeth on our bucklers, get a taste of our axe blades. After that, dare say they'll think twice before they send more Scoia'tael into these hells.
I do not... Thank you, Elder. You restore my hope that I shall have my home back in the end.
Faith can move mountains, aye, but it can't do much about borders. I've watched you close, and must admit you're a plucky lass. That enough for Nilfgaard? Canna be sure.
We will see. We shall know soon.
Volunteer Corps. Mahakam Mangler. Mahakam Shieldbearer.
I would like to march at once. So by your leave...
Nay, not granted. At once? What's that mean? Our laws are clear. Guests are to be sent off with a thundering feast. Even the humans.
Bruver, as was Bruver's wont, insisted. So the Queen accepted the invitation, but as was her wont, set a condition. The feast was to last but one night, and not, as was the wont of local custom, an entire week.
An entire week of feasting.
All clans were to be represented at the feast, save one, of course, the Zigrins. For they had already learned their punishment. The entire clan was banished from Mahakam. An exception was made for one of their number, for Gabor, who was beheaded before the day was done.
Oh, shit. I got goosebumps. Holy shit! That was a choice.
When the sun had retired behind the peaks, the underground city came alive with the sound of bugles, bagpipes, and horns. The dwarves emerged out into the central square and danced exuberantly, sparks kicking up from their hobnail boots. The usually crabby Elder-in-Chief Hoog proved a cordial host that evening.
Let's drink, lest our neck shafts grow cobwebs!
Suddenly a messenger arrived. Bruver lifted his copper horn to his ear and listened with furrowed brow.
What's that? Speak up!
When she saw a sour grin on his face, Meve knew the tidings were not good. Yet she did not suspect they pertained to her directly.
Meve, you expecting anyone?
What?
How's that?
Runner says a delegation's arrived at Carbon. Fra Lyria and Rivia got a Nilfgaardian escort.
How dare they? Traitors. Who leads it?
You'd best sit.
Who leads the delegation?
Her son.
It's your son, Willem, I fear.
Willem.
Mahakam remains neutral as regards all your squabbles. I trust I needn't remind you. So I'll have no scrambling or shoving, and certainly no bloodshed. Point of fact, I'd prefer it if you...
I wish to speak to him.
I'd forbid you, but, as I said, never seen a more stubborn wench. Alrighty then, jabber away with him. Just remember, hands to yourself.
Meve spotted banners, a Lyrian eagle upon one surrounded by Nilfgaard's black rags. Her hands became fists, showing how helpless she felt. Then her son and rival, Willem, emerged from behind a row of Imperial footmen.
My. I should apologize. It seems I missed the coronation. Congratulations, my son. Who was it who placed the crown? General Epdahi?
Count Caldwell.
Caldwell.
Ah, yes. Our elder statesman. Why have you come here, of all places? To acquire arms for Nilfgaard?
As my official mission, yes. Yet unofficially, I wish to speak with you. I trust you've had tidings from the field. Edirn turned to ash and dust. Vizimir murdered Redania in chaos. Faltus forced to strike a pact by his vassals betrayed, Henselt the same.
This limerick, will it come to a point?
Why, yes. To the same as this war. Mother, I beg you, you must see it. Nilfgaard's victory is inevitable. Surrender now, and I shall show you mercy. For later it'll be too late.
There will be no later. We shall repel them, drive them south at the points of our pikes.
The nerves. The balls on this guy.
This we, Mother. Who precisely do you mean? You stand alone.
I prefer to stand alone over standing with Nilfgaard, with the invader, as you do.
Yeah, let's not give him too much information.
Mother, in declaring for the Empire, I saved the lives of thousands of our subjects.
And in so doing, our honor lost.
Folk who had their huts burned down care deeply about our honor. Is that truly your belief? When I was crowned, a fact you deride, though that makes it no less true, I swore the good of my subjects would guide me. And a war we are doomed to lose cannot in any way benefit them.
And slavery can. You know well the Blackclads put peasants in chains, like cattle.
Reprehensible, I agree, but...
And resettlement? Forced labor? Cruel laws that make death the punishment for the slightest offenses? Are those benefits? Well, answer me!
I see I will not sway you, Mother. A shame, though I take comfort in the fact I tried. And now, adieu.
Adieu.
Oh no. I, not you, will decide when this conversation is over.
Oh, have we anything else to discuss?
Naturally. How did you know you would find me here?
Good question.
I received Nilfgaardian reports to the effect that you've been seen in the pass.
Oh, roses are red and so are your cheeks, my son. As ever when you're caught in a lie. Lyria is 2 weeks' travel hence. Had you received word only once I was here, we'd have been long gone from Mahakam by the time you assembled a force and completed the march. No. You were forewarned of our intended route. It means I've a traitor in my ranks. Another one. Get out of my sight, Willem. And pray we only ever face one another on neutral ground.
Meve struggled inside not to turn and gaze once more at her son.
Holy shit.
He'd changed since they'd last faced each other, grown manlier, and he wore the crown well. The Queen returned to the banquet hall. Her advisors shot her questioning glances, curious what she had discussed with Bruver. But Meve decided to keep the details to herself. One of them wore a Nilfgaardian lead around his neck. Until she knew who, she would have to remain vigilant.
Feasting's done, Reynard. We must consider our next move.
I've thought on it, Your Grace. We've strength enough to hit the foe, but still not the numbers to face him in open battle.
So what do you propose?
If it's Reynard in the end, I'm gonna be disappointed.
This war we cannot win alone, nor even with the dwarves at our side. But if we secure a victory, small yet symbolic, we shall show the other realms of the north all is not yet lost. Thus, I propose we attack behind the front lines, somewhere well clear of any major Imperial force.
Where would you suggest?
I'm considering Angren. To begin with, a thickly wooded marshy land, always helpful in clandestine operations. Secondly, the land's strategically important, as it's the chief source of building material for Nilfgaard's fleets.
All too little, I fear. Since we require a victory that would be symbolic, we must strike where it shall hurt. And Angren...
Just recently welcomed a new regent, in the person of Count Coldwell, my third argument. Naturally, if your Majesty wishes, I'm prepared to present alternatives to this.
No need. We march at dawn.
Oh, Coldwell, you son of a bee! You're gonna die.
Meve had toiled,
Introducing
cajoled,
Act 4.
persuaded, and gained
Death of
moral
Coldwell.
support. She left Mahakam strengthened, markedly. Even so, the Queen was in a foul mood. For it was clear a traitor, a viper, nested among the Lyrians. Someone who had conveyed the Queen's plans to her foe. From this moment on, Meve would need to weigh every word she uttered, even in the presence of her closest associates.
Your Grace, we must plot our course forward. Shall we take the western passage into Angren, or...
Not now.
When then? Dawn approaches, yet we know nothing of where...
I will not repeat myself.
The Queen knew she would learn the traitor's identity in the end. If need be, she would tear the name from the throat of another turncoat, Count Coldwell. Meve drooled at the prospect of seeing Coldwell in chains, then passing him to the hangman.
Saddle the horses. I shall take the fore.
The time for diplomacy, for preparations and negotiations had gone. Meve was to attack her foe at last, and she could not wait to do so.
Hey.
At long last, Meve's force reached Angren's marshy woods. Ever been? No? Count yourselves lucky.
You certain we haven't lost our way?
Alas, here there is no way. We continue south, that's all.
South meaning the bottom.
Should you ever venture there, I offer you this advice. Do your utmost to make no noise. Poor soul. His comrades cried out, reached out, but alas, amidst frothing waters they heard bones cracking, the moan of metal bent and crushed.
What the... bloody hell, what was that?
Rather not know, personally.
Hold your positions! Arms at the ready!
It was a glusty war. One of many the Lyrians would encounter along their path. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. At last, Meve and her force stood upon the Yaruga's bank. To find and punish the traitor Caldwell they would have to cross the river. Yet the sole bridge nearby was in Nilfgaard's hands.
Your Majesty, some new reports require your attention.
Ooh. I already see something. Report. Let's see. Oh, everything changed. This is nice. So we got a new card, right? Somewhere here. Move 6 random enemies to the other row and damage them by 2. That's kind of good. Oh wait, I have more than that. I have the new soldiers, the new move 2 units with the same power to the other row on their side. Okay. Damage an enemy and all other enemies with the same power by 2. Okay. And restraint. Set a unit's power equal to Mahakam shield bearer's power. Charges 2. Okay. Let's see. We got 9 chests to find over here, and we got a lot of talking to do again.
Yes, Your Grace?
Reynard, you fought in the first war against Nilfgaard, did you not?
Yes, Your Grace. Though, as a mere captain then.
Were they equally cruel? Did they scorch fields, turn peasants into slaves?
No, Your Grace. They fought with honor in those days.
Really?
So, what's happened? Why the change?
It's said Emperor Emir var Emrys's heart hardened over the years. He's grown crueler, more ruthless. His soldiers' zeal for violence has followed suit.
But you don't say that.
No, Your Grace.
To your mind, why do they now despise us as they war against us?
'Tis ever easier to loathe those you know. Before the first war, they knew nothing about us. Then they saw they'd the better weapons, larger cities, superior craft. That in our towns, waste flowed through the streets in open gutters. And they concluded we weren't their equals. It's far easier to kill when one holds such a belief.
Okay.
It's time I attended to other matters.
Hey ho, how's my favourite queen in the north?
Ever have regrets? Feel remorse?
For what?
Oh, I don't know. Killing innocents, perhaps? Murdering travelers, pilgrims?
I've always warned them. Won't touch a hair on your heads, provided you don't resist. So, see, gave them a choice. Besides, innocents? Please, Maeve. We both know those to be mythical creatures. Everyone's got something on their conscience.
So there's always call for murder?
That's right. Dead right. You need but answer it.
I like Gascon.
It's time I attended to other matters. Farewell.
We might actually put him back in our deck.
I haven't had the opportunity to thank you. Had you not been so alert, we'd have fallen to our deaths in Mahakam.
I merely did my duty, Your Majesty.
Modest as ever. Yet once the war is over, I shall make certain you're properly rewarded.
My lady, the one reward I desire is victory. Your victory.
Other matters await my attention. We shall speak later.
As you wish, my lady.
He has a good heart. I'm just hoping it's not him. Rayla
Yes.
might be. Might be. Treacherous.
To see Scoia'tael in Mahakam, I was quite surprised. To see them attack their own.
Their own? Ha! They hate humans, sure, but those non-humans who won't join in their struggle, they hate far more. Collaborators, they call them. Traitors to their races. Murder them in cold blood to make others join out of fear. Only way to replenish their ranks, truth be told.
I'm led to think we may owe the Scoia'tael more compassion. Seems so many enlisted under duress that...
Oh, madam, truly? And how would you tell those from the others, who grasp their weapons willingly, those whose hearts have turned black from sheer hatred?
I know not for certain, but to question them might be a start.
And what? Think you'd hear the truth from them? From elves? No. Exceptions are a clear road to human blood spilt. All Scoia'tael must die. Leave the gods to sort the wheat from the chaff.
Oh.
Something I could never agree to. Collective responsibility on all their fighters. I couldn't assign it.
That's your right as a queen. Fortunately, King Demavend has other principles. One's closer to my own.
I must go. We'll speak later.
Okay. That's that. Do this, something. But first, to be honest, I just want to take a look at the map. Let us see here. Oh. Is this the main thing? Wow, this looks so good. So big. Holy drowners. There's another fort. And this is the end, right? Has to be. So we need to go here, do something, then traverse all of this nonsense over here. There's another short little fort. There's a weird tree or rocks. Okay, so a lot of things to do over here. And we come down here with the ruins and all this jazz. Go all the way over here, explore all of this nonsense, and then go up here. A lot to do. Of course, next week. So we will be doing this next week. Okay, maybe I shouldn't venture that far up ahead because I might encounter golden chest. But next time. Thank you guys for dropping by as usual. I appreciate all of your guys' support. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Next week for me is the whatchamacallit. I'm working the late shift yet once more, so same time as now, as you know, from 9 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock. We're gonna put in a couple of hours, so two hours of getting through this jungle mess thing. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really stoked of finding out what's gonna happen. And I'm really curious to see if there's still another chapter after this one, but looks good. Looks good. Definitely enjoying myself with this game. See you guys on Monday. Yeah, may you have a great weekend.